Hello again and welcome back to another one, and today we are back with more, from reactions to a recent report on a 20-year-old record that Eminem still holds to this day that looks to still bring out the salt over 2 decades later.
It is what it is.
To more from MJB, who recently spoke about her upcoming show with Dre, Eminem, Snoop and Kendrick for the Super Bowl in 2022, and she explains why this one is different this time around since she's performed at the Super Bowl before. And here's a tip: before now she felt like Bizarre in Eminem videos, if you know what I mean.
Lose Yourself video, I was in the back.
But before we dive into the details, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and find me on social media at ETLifestyle_web. So MJB was recently on the What Happens Live show, where she briefly spoke about the upcoming Super Bowl performance and why this one is gonna be different. And this was shared on Twitter. Music legend MJB dished on co-headlining the Super Bowl 56 halftime show, in quotes, "I'm gonna be in the front with all of my peers, and you know, I'm the queen of hip-hop soul." And since this is not her first rodeo, she broke down why it is different this time.
Yeah, the first time I did it, I was in the background with like Aerosmith and Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, and I was just like in the background, but I have a forefront, like I'm gonna be in the front with, you know, with all my peers, which is Dre and Snoop and Eminem and Kendrick, and you know, I'm the queen of hip hop soul.
Yes,
And Missy Elliott reacted to this post under, "Okay, let us know, sis." And fans around the world have been wondering about the song choices for the show, since Dre, Eminem, Kendrick, Mary J and Snoop will have to squeeze it down to 12 to 15 minutes. The Weeknd's performance, for instance, was 12 minutes long and will most likely get Forgot About Dre and Still Dre in the lineup of songs that will be performed, since this is a Dr. Dre showcase, along with maybe a song from Dre's new album that's rumored to be out before the show. Drop a list of songs you'd love to see performed at the show in the comment section later. And moving on, XXL recently decided to, in quote, bait rap fans to refine some bamboo salt to double interactions after they shared this on Twitter. The 4 biggest hip-hop first-week sales debuts of all time: Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP, 1.76 million, Eminem's The Eminem Show, 1.32 million, 50 Cent's The Massacre, 1.14 million, and Lil Wayne's The Carter 3, 1 million. Now, this is based on objective data, but many in the comments just couldn't resist. It was one subjective take or excuse after another because of one man on the list. It went from The Carter 3 clears all Eminem, and if you believe that, what's that got to do with the report based on objective data? But the ratio was imminent with a simple absolutely not. It's all subjective, but this won't be complete without the huge fans jumping in. I love Eminem, but Carter 2 clears all Eminem's LP. Notice how the conversation just kept shifting from a report about numbers where Carter 2 wasn't even on the list, but here we are. The mental gymnasts never disappoint, and it only got worse. But Wayne did it at a time when records just weren't selling. Doing that in 2008 is more impressive than 1.7 million from M. Records weren't selling? Just a few months before Carter 3, Kanye West did 957,000 first-week pure sales. People will say anything to downplay Eminem's accomplishments, and where do we start here? If it was so easy during Eminem's era, how come no solo artists across all genres of music did 1.7 million that time? No one came close, but here we are. And here's a fun fact, since we are talking about impressive feats based on speculations, since in quotes, records weren't selling when Kanye moved nearly 1 million months before. Here's something even more impressive. In 2013, Eminem's MMLP2 moved 1.2 million global units pure sales first week, over 5 years after Wayne moved 1.05 million global units with Carter 3. Now, how's that for what's impressive? But it only got worse with takes like this in reaction. I can't name 10 Eminem songs, and more, Get Rich or Die Trying is better than any album Eminem has ever released. And I was like, okay, if you believe that, fine, I respect that, but what's that got to do with this report when Get Rich or Die Trying isn't even the 50 Cent album on the list, it's The Massacre. That bamboo salt is only gonna get more expensive at this rate, I tell you, because it only got worse. Eminem, the definition of white privilege, and someone had enough. So you say 50 or Wayne have better albums and are better rappers, cause they supposed to. It's like I'm supposed to love 50, Wayne and not M, cause I'm black? F out of here. Name a song or songs on C3 better than the one verse on The Way I Am, please. And after witnessing goalposts get moved around left, right, center, all over the place, one user took it upon themselves to share a classic from 50 Cent, perhaps after seeing posts along these lines. Also, stop including Eminem in Black-ish, and the user shared this, realest talking hip-hop you'll ever hear.
He's the only person that did things that I wanted to do. He had the Marshall Mathers LP with 23 million records sold, with flags all around the plaque, and I was like, yo, I want that kind of success. And I know I had to go door to door to get it, because I'm not M. See, hip-hop is black music, without question. And unfortunately for some people, it's tough to accept that you got a white artist that does it better than black artists. It is what it is.
Like, how do people stay salty about Objective Records set 2 decades ago? And some people drop reminders that it could have been worse if not for leaks during Eminem's peak. The Eminem show would have crossed 2 million if MFers didn't leak it. Encore also would be on the list if Billboard counted its entire first week sales, which are 1.5 million. Another adds, the Eminem show was projected to sell more than MMLP, but it was being bootlegged very badly. But with a premature release date, it was the first album ever to go #1 with only 1 day of sales counted. Rap fans around the world, even in the most diverse communities, were all Team Eminem at his peak. Those who had the opportunity to be well-traveled know this for a fact, but the revisionists have been proving Eminem's point from role model on the Slim Shady LP. Some people only see that I'm white, ignoring skill. They love to ponder on hypotheticals and alternate realities, but Eminem said he would have sold half if he was black. Do the math. Half of 194 million equivalent albums sold globally makes him what? Still one of the best-selling rappers of all time, roughly on par with Drake's total equivalent global sales. Or maybe Eminem would have pulled even better numbers than Michael Jackson and moved 331 million equivalent albums globally. No one knows, it's all what ifs. We only know what we know as reality right now. That will be all for today. Share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.